And we're back. That's right. Here we go, my friends. We're on to writing prompt number 3. Should helium balloons be banned? Okay, so this was a kind of an eye-opener for me because I'll be honest, I had no idea that helium balloons were so dangerous or that the helium that's inside the balloons was so important, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, first of all, again, just like before, if you haven't yet done the reading assignment where you had to read this article, you might want to do that first. There's really no way to do the writing prompt until you complete the reading assignment. So, take a look at the reading assignment if you haven't done that first. Now, moving into the writing assignment. So today, we are looking at should helium balloons be banned? Now, when I looked at the article, I was really, like I said, blown away because the first thing that really jumped out at me was that helium, the gas that we put into the balloons, is a natural resource that's rare, that's not plentiful on this planet. There's not a lot of it, right? So when I took a look at my outline and I started filling it in, first of all, I picked my side and I said, yes, get rid of them. But again, this is just an opinion piece. If you are on the no side, that is totally fine. What's really important to me is that you can back up your argument with text, with information from the text, with text evidence, and some examples from your own life as to why balloons are important. So again, it doesn't really matter which side you pick. I'm just giving you an example, and this is just my side. You don't have to agree with me. That is totally okay. So I chose the yes side. And when I scooch down a little bit, you're going to notice that there's a little bit more information now in what I'm going to call my outline. I have some bulleted pieces here underneath my number 1, my number 3. I'm starting to add more information. So this is what I'm expecting of you. I'm expecting that your writing pieces will become a little bit longer. So previously we've been really working on things like thesis statement and just kind of, hey, these are the things we're going to talk about in our big 5-paragraph essay, but we're not really moving into 5-paragraph essays. We're going to focus more on just adding details. So when we take a look at the first section of the story, it talked a little bit again about how helium is a natural resource. Again, I had no idea that it was a rare natural resource. So I started thinking in my mind of what other things on this planet are rare or, limited amounts of it. And I thought fossil fuels, the fuels that we use to heat our homes, to drive our cars. And then I thought, okay, well, what are some alternative forms of energy that we're thinking about now? We're looking at wind energy, solar energy, hydroelectricity. So we've got some other different pieces of, electricity that we're trying to use because eventually we will run out of fossil fuels. And we have to have a way of getting around, of heating our homes, of cooling our food in the refrigerator. All of these things are important. Again, drawing your attention to the quotation marks. This is a quote that I took directly from the text because, again, this piece of writing is made up of examples from your life, connections you make to the text, but also you're thinking about text evidence. What did the text say that's helping you form this opinion? So we're looking at my first point of helium is a rare natural resource. And then I kept reading and I looked at the very top and I thought, whoa, if this doesn't talk a little bit about what we're going with right now, the reason you're at home sitting in front of that computer right now, the fact that it powers medical equipment. We need it. They use it to run experiments and do research. They even use it to send rockets into space. So, if we're using it to fill a balloon at a party instead of running an experiment like maybe finding a vaccine to this virus that we're all struggling with right now, that's really a big idea, right? That's a big point. So I made that my number 2. And my number 3, again, as I kept reading, I looked a little bit towards the top here, and it talks, bottom moving up to the top, it said that when you let the balloons go, they come back to Earth, obviously, right? And sometimes birds get tangled up in them. And then there's also the fact that some of these animals mistake them for food and eat them. So I thought, well, that's not good. They're found in the bellies of these stomachs of the stomachs of these animals when they pass away. So those are some really good points for me to move me toward an opinion of yes, to get rid of them. So let's jump into our actual writing. So just like before, we've got our writing prompt here, and we're going to begin with an introduction. Oops, I'm in the wrong spot here. Let me jump down. Okay, I'm pushing tab to indent, right? You always begin to indent with a paragraph, and I could say something like, I'm bolded. Let me turn off my bold. There are many reasons to get rid of helium balloons and these are several of them. Okay, so again, taking a look at my first point I did in blue. Helium is a rare natural resource. So let's see, I'm literally going to go ahead, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and copy that whole sentence and just stick it right in there because I like that sentence. Oh, that should have an S on it. Let me fix that real quick here. Okay, so I'm going to start with blue, and I'm going to say first, and then I'm going to paste that helium, and I'm going to leave my quotation marks because again, this is a quote directly from the text. These are not my words. These are Storyworks words. So I want to make sure I leave the quotation marks. First, helium is a rare natural resource. There is a limited amount of it on Earth. Maybe I'll add, fortunately, humans are working to develop, oops, hold on, I forgot my fossil fuel comment here. Similar to fossil fuels, fossil, F-O-S, fossil fuels, helium will one day run out. Okay, then I'll say fortunately, F-O-R-T-U-N, fortunately, humans, oh, hold on, I think I missed an E. Fortunately, humans are working to develop other forms of, energy, such as, and again, taking a look at my model, right? I've got wind, solar, hydropower, so such as wind, solar, and hydro electricity. Let's see, we could say maybe one day we will find an alternative means of inflating, maybe we'll do eco-friendly balloons. So, pausing, take a look at this. This is much longer than the very first writing prompt I gave you. I am still only on my number 1 of my reasons and examples. I haven't even moved into 2 or 3 yet. But again, this is what I'm expecting of you. I'm expecting that as we work on this writing together, that you'll begin to be able to add more and more details to your writing. And it should make sense. It should all work together. Notice it's all in blue because I'm still focusing on my first concept or my first supporting detail, that helium is a natural resource, and I talked about how fossil fuels are also a natural resource and they're both limited. So again, you want to keep adding more and more details, and that's what I'm going to look for. That's what I'm going to be looking for when I grade your writing, that it starts to grow, that it starts to add more and more details. Okay, so moving on to prompt number 2, or my number 2 reason or example. It powers medical equipment. Okay, so I'm going to go, instead of saying second, because I don't always have to say first, second, third, I might say next. Helium is a rare resource that powers medical equipment and experiments. This is very maybe important to finding a solution to many illnesses we suffer from. Okay, so there's my second prompt, right? My second reason to the prompt. Okay, last, it's dangerous to animals. So again, when I looked in the text, there were some really specific examples. It said that there were birds that get tangled up in them, that other animals can mistake them for food, and it gets tangled up in their GI tract and kills them. So we've got whales and sea turtles as an example to that, which is very sad because there's a lot of species of whales and sea turtles that are endangered. Okay, so taking a look here, dangerous to animals. So let's see. Lastly, let's see, balloons are, oops, Mr. No, are dangerous to animals. Birds can become tangled up in them. Tangled, whoops, T-A-N-G-L-E-D, up in them, and other animals can mistake them, maybe fatally mistake them, can fatally, meaning it kills them, fatally, no, I spelled that wrong, I'm going to have to fix it, mistake them for food. I guess I spelled fatally right. Okay. Mistake them for food. Okay, so again, I'm adding more and more details, right? Maybe I'll even add that comment about how these animals are endangered. So already we're, contributing to their extinction with these balloons. So unfortunately, many of, I'll fix that in 1 second, the species of whales and sea turtles that are eating, I don't want to say mistaking again because I already said that, are eating the balloons are endangered. Therefore, we could be contributing to their extinction. Again, I really want to draw your attention. I really want to emphasize the fact that this is getting longer, right? There's a lot more information here than there was in our first writing prompt, right? There's a lot more bullets, there's a few more connections, there's more information from the text. So all that's missing is a beautiful conclusion. So we can say something like, for these powerful reasons, I choose to not use helium balloons in the future. And again, this is just my point of view. This is just a perspective that I took when I read, and these are points that I made from my connections to my experiences to the text. So you could have a different opinion. Maybe you have different reasons why helium balloons are okay to use. Maybe you want to go with other ideas or other, ways of communicating. Either way, this should be your piece of writing. I'm not grading this on your opinion. I'm grading this on how well you can back up your opinion. Okay, so hopefully this helped a little bit as far as completing your writing prompt for this week. Good luck, and I look forward to reading it very much. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.